Welcome to Racquets Biz, the only podcast that delivers data-driven insights into today's rackets industry. New clubs are opening consistently in the United States and all over the world. Some make it, some go out of business quickly. As an investor and facility operator, what is it that you need to know to create constant cash flow and consistent long-term ROI? Join me for today's episode.
Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Dominique Lempele. Today's guest is Cassandra Toroian. Cassandra is the co-founder and CEO of Ruley.ai, referee, a technology platform designed to enhance recreational sports experiences through AI-powered officiating and community tools. Cassandra sets the strategic vision and overall goals while overseeing the AI and API development. She focuses on the go-to-market planning, strategic partnerships, and brand development. A seasoned entrepreneur, Cassandra brings over 25 years of experience in the finance, real estate, and technology world. She launched her first business in the mid-90s and has successfully founded and exited 3 companies. A former D1 tennis player at Lafayette College, Cassandra holds a bachelor's degree in American government and politics and an MBA from the University of Miami. Welcome, Cassandra.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you today. Cassandra, where did you grow up? What racket sports did you grow up playing? And what eventually motivated you to become CEO?
Well, actually, I was born in South Florida. So born down there and basically picked up my first, well, it was actually a racquetball racket because I was only about maybe 4 at the time. My dad would take me out to the racquetball courts near our house outside in Miami. And so he gave me his racquetball racket to use with a tennis ball to hit against the wall. And that began my, I guess, love of racket sports. So I started playing, obviously, tennis at a very early age. He and I would play also badminton in the backyard. I love badminton. I don't know if you play it at all,
Yes.
but it's a fun sport.
Yeah.
So, I played badminton. I played a lot of tennis. I did some racquetball, some squash, but it's always comes back to tennis for me. Pretty much my entire adulthood as well. Although I've started playing some padel now too. As far as what motivated me to become a CEO, well, actually, I started life off going to law school and realized when I was there that I was miserable and tried to convince my father to basically give me some money so I could go start my own business. I guess because he was a business owner, an entrepreneur, I just kind of thought, that was the way to do it. And he wouldn't do it. He would not give me the money. He said, no, I support you in wanting to go into business. You have to go learn first. First, you need to go get some more business background. So that's why I got my MBA. But then he really wanted me to go learn working for other people before he would actually think about giving me any money to start a business, because he wanted me to learn the mistakes before going out on my own.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So it did, and it, there was a lot between finishing school and then I did go and obviously work for other people. And then I had an idea to start my first internet company. So I went out and raised a little bit of, I guess you call it early stage venture capital, and kind of, took it from there. It's been an interesting journey. I like being, CEO. Obviously, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure because you've got to make sure everybody's paid,
Yes.
payroll, keeping the lights on, all of that good stuff, and that you are doing something as well that you enjoy.
Yes.
So I sold my last company about 2 years ago. It was time. It was time. It was not that fulfilling anymore.
Yes.
I was burned out, and so by then I had learned more about coding and kind of understood more about what it was you could now do with technology. I don't want to go and code anything myself, but I felt like I needed to understand what you could do with technology.
Sure.
So that kind of set the stage then for founding Ruley.
Yes. And so you have a background in real estate, finance, have an MBA, and you decide to found Ruley. Tell me, what is Ruley and why did you start it?
So Ruley is, well, Ruley has changed since when we first started it, but I'll give you the story about how we came to start it first, which is my partner Tracy plays pickleball, and she asked me to go out one day and play with her. Like I said, I'm a tennis player. So we went out. It was an open play session. And of course, it was easy for me to pick up actually hitting the ball around. But I noticed a lot of bickering on the courts around us. And of course, I myself was a little confused by some of the rules. They're not as intuitive, I think, as some of the tennis rules. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have to go home and print the rule book out and
Yes.
bring it me next time because I don't want to have a problem with anybody. So I went home and looked, and it was about 70 pages long, and realized I'm not going to print that out. That's crazy. So I looked for an app and didn't find one. So I realized with my newfound knowledge of machine learning and AI and coding that we could basically take any set of rules and train our own AI, using AI, train our own mobile app to give people the rules of pickleball instantly right there on the court, so that if they were having a situation where they were bickering with their opponent, they could just ask the question right there, get the
Yes.
answer in real time, show what the rule number actually says, and basically save a lot of time and effort and anxiety and stress by
Yes.
having it there. So that's kind of how we started. It was over pickleball, which of course, has grown so much in the US in the last few years. And a lot of people, when we would start talking about this app, would shake their head like, oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely we need that. And though what we realized was there was a bigger picture here, that there was a need for other sports to have something similar. There were a lot of sports like tennis or even golf that, obviously they're already very large numbers of people play them, but new people every day want to learn. And so having the ability to, have all the nuanced rules right there at your fingertips is a great thing. if I'm a company that makes, the equipment for these tools, of course I want to sell as many rackets or golf clubs or paddles as possible. So obviously growing that player base is very important, but so is growing the spectator base too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely important to grow any player base. The players need to have fun, and they asking about the rules can lead to fights and can just turn into them walking off the court.
Yeah, negativity, bad sportsmanship. And that was the other part of Ruley was really, I think, tennis etiquette, is what I grew up with, and sportsmanship is very important. And I felt like maybe that needed to be elevated again, that maybe we've lost some of that. And, a newer sport like pickleball, maybe folks playing that, don't come from a real sport background necessarily to understand, the importance of sportsmanship, and etiquette. And so I think in this world, having some elevated sportsmanship, if Ruley can help a bit, that's a good thing.
Sure. Normally, the pro would have to be called the club pro, but
Right.
a lot of times he or she is on the court teaching a lesson,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then what do then?
Right.
They keep fighting, so Ruli can be a great assistant in case the pro isn't available.
Absolutely. In fact, we gave several licenses for the pickleball, to a club, in Atlanta that is more tennis focused, but they have pickleball leagues. And so the club, manager wanted to give everybody that was in the pickleball league the app, so that exactly for that reason, so that it wouldn't take his time or any of his staff members' time to have to deal with disputes or
Yes,
questions.
that's smart. That's smart. Yes. Um, and so pickleball is still relatively well, it's not new. It started in 1965,
Right.
but it's booming right now. So many players are playing it, and the rules are getting modified almost every year. Every year.
Yeah.
How does Ruli get updated when a new rule comes out by USA Pickleball?
Yeah, so because of how we've built our API system, we're able to basically pretty much, instantaneously update, our brain so that it has the latest information, in there to answer the questions, accurately. That which is obviously very important. And you talk about Chat GPT, and well, why wouldn't somebody just use that, for example? That's kind of the difference. Is Chat GPT is not real time. I think people forget that the information is delayed by several months. The brain of Chat GPT is not up to the minute.
Okay.
And the way that system works, basically, it's going to go all over the internet and find bits and pieces, people's blogs, news stories, whatever it is, and look for an answer, right? So it's not pulling directly from just the source, if you
Yes.
will. It's more based on, what's the most popular, similar to Google in a way. What's the most popular pages out there on a particular topic, and it's going to pull from that. So that's why really having an AI, a system that uses AI and it's just trained on, very specific, let's call it core, knowledge base, right? Like the source data is very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so as soon as the source data is updated, Ruley will be updated.
Right.
Okay, okay. And let's say there are, at a country club, for example, there are four pickleball players wanting to play pickleball, but the courts are busy, as it happens so often these days. And they see an open tennis court, and they see their friends play tennis, but they never really tried it. They were going to take a lesson with the pros soon, but they would really like to start playing now. Now, do you think Ruley could provide crossover between sports because the rules are so easy to access?
Yeah, the way we're building Ruley now is, we initially started building these single mobile apps, one for each sport. So we have out there one for pickleball, paddle as well, tennis, which includes the niche league, pro league sport of intense. And then we also have the golf app as well, which people find super useful. And that includes the niche sport of fling golf. And we did those really as sort of test cases to make sure, that it was well received and collect feedback, but also make sure that the AI worked. What we realized was the need for this is tremendous in all sports. So we're right now building out our API documentation. Our customer base is actually ultimately not going to be the end consumer, but other businesses that are in all of these sports that want to offer our Ruley brain through their own websites and their own mobile apps. Maybe it's an e-commerce app, or maybe it's a club app, whatever the app is. That way it's a stickier app or website for them, and they're adding value to their players, but also not even to just players, to potential spectators and fans. An example of that would be, we could take American football, right? There's a lot of people out there that, well, women often have to sit there and watch it on Sundays with their husbands.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily know what's going on. If they had Ruley, they would probably be a little bit more engaged, maybe eventually become a fan of a particular team, maybe the team that their husband or partner likes to watch, but it helps spur on a fan base and a spectator base as well.
Sure.
So Ruley is basically going to be, in all sports.
So for USTA, take USTA, their goal is to grow tennis.
Right.
Would they want to add Ruley to their website to grow tennis?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we've had some conversations with them. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or the US Open, for example, how would they benefit from having Ruley on their website?
Yeah, I mean, it's for any, it's really for any federation, or any brand, or organization that's particularly involved in a sport. That's how they make their revenues, is from that sport, as far as, like I said, either the players or, membership fees, or spectators buying tickets. You want those stadiums filled.
Yes. So ticket sites. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a background in blockchain technology, coding, and Python programming. So you have a very good insight into today's tech AI world. How should club and facility operators be using AI tools like Ruley and other AI tools to optimize the player and the member experience?
Yeah, well, definitely, I think that any club owners out there that are looking to differentiate themselves and elevate the reputation of their club and the member experience would want to add not only tools like Ruley into their existing applications, but also there are some really interesting uses for AI visual tools now that can help not only coaches, you know, but also they can help the clubs as far as virtual training, right? So if the club is maybe only outdoors, well, what happens, when there's rain or, it's cold or whatever, with indoor virtual training, that's something that a lot of clubs should be looking at. Certainly with scheduling,
Yeah,
there are uses now for using AI integrated tools to help with schedules, creating league schedules, court schedules. I mean, there's all kinds of, I think, positive uses
sure.
for yeah, absolutely.
Yes, so that pros should be using AI to make their job easier and go connect with the people, right? Let
Right,
AI do the administrative work so that the
right,
pros can actually connect with members and help them have fun.
right. I'll give you an example. A club that I know had, basically traditional tennis. And so for several years, they had, this was a country club, they had put lines on some of the courts for the pickleball players.
Yes,
So eventually, the pickleball players said, well, we want our own courts. And there became this big fight. How many courts are we going to turn from tennis courts into pickleball courts? Unfortunately, the club data was not the greatest. And so they unfortunately made some decisions based on not a full set of data. Had they had the data of what their players, their different tiered players were playing, the times of day, the months of the year, etc., they would have been able to put all of that into AI to actually facilitate helping them make a decision that was going to be best economically for the club now, but also in the future.
yes,
Uh, Taking into account, maybe they will need to add some paddle courts, right? So do we really want to, make this dollar investment right now without taking the future into account, right? And planning for the future. So that's kind of an interesting use case as well.
yes. Data analysis and time saving. Um, Let AI
Mm-hmm.
do that work.
Right.
And so you started Ruley. How many employees do you currently have at Ruley?
Right now, yeah, we're small. I mean, there's probably like five of us in total. And really, we're about to go out and do a capital raise so that we can really scale this into a number of sports and into a number of countries, right? The paddle app, for example, if you were to download it right now, you'd see it's actually bilingual in English and Spanish. We did that as well with the tennis app as well as the golf app. Pickleball, we're gonna get to do that, but we've been sort of focused on other things. So, um, you know, there are so many sports here in the United States that aren't in other parts of the world, but vice versa,
Yes.
right? I see it as huge opportunity. Sports is a universal language, and so if we all understand the rules of the sport, we don't need to talk, right?
Yes.
We can play and have fun and not have to speak the same language.
Yes, it's a good point that you're making about sports being all over the world. Soccer, for example,
Mm-hmm.
is huge in the rest of the world. It's
Right.
also growing and growing in the United States, and more
Right.
people are watching it. But a lot of people who see it, they really don't understand soccer.
Right.
So Ruli might
Yep.
venture into soccer as well. What do you think?
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right. What about other country club sports? Mind sports, as I may call them. You see club rooms filled with card games like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mahjong, bridge, canasta.
Mm-hmm.
Many people play that.
You're
Um,
absolutely
do you
right.
ever
Yep.
think about adding card games?
Yeah, so our longer term plans are to not only do just, let's call it traditional sports, but let's call it backyard games, as well as board games and card games, and pretty much you nailed it. There are a lot of use cases. I'll use cornhole as an example, even, right? Cornhole, people play that in the backyard, but I have no idea. I know there's lots of rules to it. I watch it on ESPN now. They even have it there, but I don't know the rules.
Right.
Most people don't. And the same goes with, the games we played as kids, but also the card games we play as adults, like you mentioned, bridge and even mahjong. So, as I said, we believe that what we're building is very scalable
Mm-hmm.
and can really help a lot in getting people to have more fun if they're going to play these things.
Yes. I really can see it for these card games because a lot of times there is no pro who's
Right.
gonna come in and help them resolve
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
rules questions.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that you're gonna do some rounds of fundraising.
Hmm.
Are you looking for investors right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're about to kick off our fundraising in the next month or so. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And how can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more about Ruli?
So you can, anybody that wants to get more information, we have a website out there. It's Ruley, RULEY .ai, and you can visit that. And we're going to be enhancing the website here shortly as we update and include all of our API documentation in there so that businesses will begin to be able to actually license what we've built and integrate it into their own platforms. But for right now, you can go there and fill out our contact form and send a message if you want to get in touch.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I see a great niche for Ruli and really in any club to help grow the player base in paddle. That's especially in paddle, to be honest, and tennis.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's crucial to have again, not that these games are really that complicated, the basic rules, but it's interesting. The young people today, because they're always on their social media accounts on their phones, they're not as used to personal interaction and asking questions. They,
Right.
they get a little bit anxious about, so they don't even want to really step out onto a court and not know what they're getting into.
Right.
Right. So for them to be able to have access to the rules and kind of do their own exploring before they even go out there is also, I think, a big benefit.
Yes, and to be honest, a pickleball player who's used to 1, 2, 3 scoring now has to do 15, 30, 40,
Right,
and a lot
right,
of them really don't know what that means, and I don't blame
right,
them. You know, how
right,
how would they know what that 15 really means 1 point, 30
right.
means 2 points? So I think Ruley might be able to make sports less intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. That's really, one of our goals.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Um, so I really learned a lot about Ruli, and is there anything else you like to say about your career in general or your vision for Ruli long term?
Well, I would say, we're excited about the future for Ruli, just because we've had so many positive receptions from CEOs of major, let's call it sports gear manufacturing companies, to beginner players, that really this is, it's an exciting sort of venture to be involved with, and it seems so simple, and yet we didn't really all realize that there was a need for it until kind of it's been spotlighted. So I think, we're thrilled to be the ones to try and bring this out there for everybody and to help sports grow.
Yes. And sports equipment as well. For example, paddle rackets or tennis rackets, they might
Yeah,
want to add you to their website.
exactly. Yeah. Helps differentiate them and also helps, um, I think, consumers become more loyal to a
Yes.
brand when they feel like they're getting some valuable information from them. And it's not just all about selling.
Yes, they're actually getting educated.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very good point.
yeah.
Well, Cassandra, it's been a pleasure learning about Ruli and the AI world. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
And we will see you next time on Racquets Biz. Don't miss the next episode and subscribe to Racquets Biz on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like us on LinkedIn and Instagram. See you next week.